Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I was about to assemble my new EG4 Brightmount solar panel ground mount system. And when I opened the box, I noticed a few different things from the videos I've seen from other YouTubers. This might be their third variation of this EG4 Brightmount. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I received this on December of 2024. So I don't know when exactly they changed, but let me just show you the changes that I notice firsthand. And now I don't have the old one, so I cannot really say instance by instance the difference, but these are the major differences that I see thus far. First of all, the mount, this foot that attaches with your footing. Now, a lot of the DIYers there I've seen use 4x4s. But now, you are no longer able to use a 4x4 because the holes are farther apart and you're not able to screw into a 4x4 anymore. So that's one big difference. So now you are forced to use at least a 4x6. So here I have a 6x6 right there. So you can see the difference between a 4x4 and a 4x6. I mean a 6x6. So now you have to use a 6-inch wide wood to secure it properly on your project. Which is, I don't mind, but just a big major difference that I can tell. Also, another one is that these holes right here are different from the previous versions. Before, I would see two holes, one here and one here, and then a single hole back here, pertaining to the whichever is facing the front and the back side of the what do you call that? The leg. So those are two things as far as that's concerned. Now, another major thing I noticed is these are the legs. And I know previously, to attach one leg or both legs, you would need to assemble a piece here to connect to this leg and screw it, put a screw, the same thing on the back side. But now, there's no more. That assembly section is not there anymore. This actually comes pre-assembled like this. So you can see here, this is just straight out of the box. This is one of the other legs. I still have it wrapped in plastic. And it comes pre-assembled already like this in the box. So that's less assembly for sure. And I guess this is going to be stronger since it's now a one piece on this area. Instead of another bolt attaching another connection to another connection, it probably will be stronger. So that's another major thing or upgrade maybe that they have developed. Another one is, and I'm sure more people will like this. Previously, I think the first generation, they had no adjustments for the angle. Then the second one, they had 3-hole adjustments. This one now has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you have 5 different angles of adjustment, which is really good for those people who need to really dial in their angles for the year. So those are the major differences I've seen thus far for this new version of EG4 Brightmount. I also noticed they're a little bit more expensive as well. Also, for this project, I'm going to be using these are 5/16 by 3-inch lag bolt I'll be using to secure here 3 inches. Make sure it can withstand the force of the wind because my panels are 550 watt panels, which are more than 7 foot tall, and I need it to be able to hold it together. And to secure, I'm going to be using it's going to be like this to secure my 4x6 to the 4x4 at the bottom. I'm using this 8-inch 3/8 diameter bolt to secure those. Alright guys, I ran into a little bit of problem here assembling this thing. I purchased the EG4 extension kit because if you have the 44.5-inch wide panels, these beams are not going to be long enough to hold all 4 panels. So they sell this separately, this extension kit right here. Right here. So remember when I mentioned that they redesigned this extrusions aluminum to something else? As you can see here, there's no more assembly required there on those areas. Well, apparently they redesigned the extrusions for this bar here as well. So this is the, I'm assuming this is the old design for the EG4 for the extension. But you can see how this is designed. And this sleeve goes inside here. Start to do this with one hand. Hold on. Okay. The sleeve goes inside here. And I'm assuming it's supposed to go to the other end to connect to here. But since they redesigned it, it doesn't fit in this slot here, and it doesn't even look the same at all. It doesn't fit here, doesn't fit here, nowhere. And it's supposed to, this is the top part where the panel, see how it's completely different. So here, let me give you a side-to-side comparison. Pardon me. Well, so you can see the new rail. This is the new rail on the right side, and this, I'm assuming, is the old one. The extension will not work. So I'm gonna have to call. I forgot where I bought this. I don't know if it was Signature Solar or Shop Solar, but yeah, I'm gonna have to ask about this because I cannot use these extensions for their new designs. And again, I ordered these together on December of 2024. So the extension kit, I ordered it with the Brightmount kit, and that's where I'm at. That's where I'm stuck. All right, so I'll give you an update. I cannot put all 4 panels. I guess at this time I can only put 3 until I get that extension kit. So I'll give you an update on that, okay? So here's my temporary setup for now. I'm only able to put 3 panels because the extension rail kit does not fit on this newer model. So these are 550 watt solar panels. So they're pretty big. This is 44.5 inch wide by 7 feet and 6 inches tall. Yeah. So that's what it looks like for now, and this is my temporary setup. It works out pretty good. Now I did call out to Shop Solar because that's where I ordered my rail kit from and the system. And it took a couple of days for them to figure out that they had to contact the manufacturer, which is EG4, that this new rail system they do not have yet available. I'm recording this beginning of January 2025. They still do not have the extension rail kit for these newer models. So with that said, I'm gonna have to wait until that's available before I can complete this setup. Now, I have a few gripes about how they put this together. First of all, the extension rail kits. Now, the extension rail kit to make this just exactly 5 inches longer. Yeah, the extension rail kit is only 5 inches long. So you're able to put the 4 panels perfectly from edge to edge. And this, each rail at the bottom and the ones at the top are 2 pieces each. So they come in 2 pieces, as one piece here and then the other piece here. And I don't know for the life of me why EG4 just cannot make each piece just 2.5 inches longer. Make that 2.5 inches longer, 2.5 inches longer, and there would be no need to buy the 5-inch long extension rail kit. The time of purchase, the ones that I bought for the older models, cost around $13. I don't know why they just make it 2 inches longer. Now, this beams, each half is less than 8 foot. Let me give you an exact number. Let me get my tape measure real quick. Hold on. The one piece, let me see if we could get that there and see how long exactly this is. Let's see what that looks like. That's at 89 3/4, just under 90 inches, which is 7 feet, just under 7 feet 6 inches. You see it there. So 7 foot 6 inches. If they just added per side 2.5 inches, there would be no need for those extension rails, and you can fit perfectly even the 550 watt panels, as long as they're 44 inches wide, 44 and a half. That would solve that problem. And then also, my other negative on this is, I guess it's in the design, but on this area here, this assembly right here, now you can see my beam that's going up here, the main post, is not exactly perpendicular 90 degrees. That's because the bolts that they have here with these openings have a lot of play. Now, initially, of course, we want to make this perfectly straight up and down, and that's what I did. But even after torquing this down as tight as I think before stripping anything, and I don't want to over tighten it and destroy the bolts, because I did that with one of them already. Putting this straight up and down, and I pushed against it to see if it can withstand the pressure. And yes, you can actually cause this to swing this way or this way if you put enough pressure. And I did that. I had to do that because these panels are heavy. These are like, I don't know, 60, 70 pounds per panel. Times, if I was putting 4, you multiply by 4, that's easily around 250 pounds, more than 200 pounds, just panels alone. And also, the way these are designed, most of the weight is towards this side. So you will naturally, weight-wise, want to tilt this way. Okay? Now that's fine if you don't have any issues with vibrations caused by the wind. Even if you torque that down really tight, winds can cause it to vibrate, and actually after a while you'll end up leaning all the way here. So what I did was that, and that can affect your angle as well drastically. The small movement here drastically affects your angle this way. So you might be setting this on whatever angle you want, but when it starts to tilt, that changes drastically. So even with this, what I had to do with this setup was, when the bolts were still a little bit loose, I leaned it as far as it can this way, and then I maxed out the angle this way, because if I make it any smaller, if I use these other holes here for the winter angle, which is, you want a steeper angle for winter, that bottom side there will already hit the ground or the wood right there. I only have like, let's say 3 to 4 inches off the ground right there. And I don't want to lift it too far to this side, because it will hang farther here. I want more of the weight here. So yes, that's the reason why I made it tilt this way already, so it doesn't already vibrate itself angling this way. I just torque it down when it's already on its maximum angle this way. So weight wise, I would say 60% of the weight is on this side. Plus also, because here I'm in an open field, I didn't put this right next to a house, so the house can stop strong winds. I'm in an open field. So wind wise as well, in its aerodynamics, if wind comes from this side, it would not as push the panels towards this way, because of the way the wind can just swing up this way. But also, if the wind was to come from this side, that wind will be caught. It will be pushing these panels more this way compared it from this way. Those are the two major, I would say major complaints I have regarding this regarding this assembly here. Now, I think they can make it better by making this, let's say, holes and slots, a tighter tolerance, less wiggle room, because if you can tell, that's not just a few degrees of angle change. That's actually several. You see how different that angle is from its 90? So that'll drastically change what you were trying to do with this. And right now I actually maxed it out to this highest point. Let me see if I could get if we were to use from here. Yeah, so this is flat right now here. And can you see? That's a lot of degrees, guys. That's not just a little bit. That's a lot of degrees of, again, this is just one way of wiggle room, okay? That's just angle this way. It also has some play going this way also. So it actually has, if you add up those angle of play, it's quite a bit. Now, it might not matter to a lot of people who's using it, because I know a lot of people already have used this to install their solar panels. I see other YouTubers, to prevent that movement, they actually put, when they have their posts, permanent posts, this is my temporary setup. I'm going to have a permanent post that's going to be a little bit taller than this. They actually put braces. They screwed a brace from here down to the post to prevent this from moving or wiggling or whatever, shifting its angles. with the wind, or like yesterday we had some snow, or yes, we had some snow. So if you have snow and you try to put this perpendicular up and down with all that added snow weight, it's gonna other than that, I think it's pretty sturdy, pretty solid. Yeah, I think every other part is pretty solid. This is how I set up my. So these are 3-inch 5/16 by 3-inch bolts, and this is through and through nut and bolt, 8-inch bolts, 3/8. It's our 3/8. So to make sure that, because this area is here, that area, and especially this area where you connect it to the crossbars. Now these crossbars, you cannot probably tell, but those are 6 feet long. This is a 6 feet long crossbar. I cut a 12-foot section in half, so those are all 6 feet long each. Now a lot of the pressure is going to be on this right here. There's 16 of these bolts because there's 4 areas, but this connection to the crossbars, which is going to be holding a lot of the weight and the pressure from the wind. That's why I used a through bolt, through nut and bolt, to make sure that it doesn't get ripped up. If I was going to use a screw at first, but I know that's not going to hold it. It's just going to rip that. So I used that to make sure it'll secure it in place and not get sheared off as easily. That's it for you guys. So to all the solar community out there, I hope I was able to help you with something. You learned something. If you have any questions or comments, just write it down below, and let's share what we know. All right, guys, thank you for watching. And if when I do receive those extension well kits, I'll give you an update whenever that happens. All right, so again, thank you for watching. See you next time.